let's bring on Mike. Mike, how you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, Chris and Sergio. Great to be here.
Welcome to Show Me the Money, Mike. So we're glad to have you on short notice. We appreciate you showing up, and I think you have something really valuable for our audience watching now live and on replay coming up. So please introduce yourself and introduce the company. Is it Repair Ally, right?
Yes, it's Repair Ally, and I'm one of the two co-founders, Mike Schmidt. And what Repair Ally does is we're trying to remove barriers for people to work on modern vehicles. And so we're doing that by providing step-by-step repair instructions and diagnostic plans for any issue on any vehicle. And so on our site, you can go and enter if your car is idling rough, or if you've got a weird noise, you can go describe that, enter what kind of vehicle you drive, and it will walk you through it with integrated videos and step-by-step instructions.
Yeah. As we were talking in the green room, 99.5% of our audience are rideshare drivers, and we use our cars as the tools of the trade. I mean, that's it. We spend 10, 12, 14 hours a day if you're full-time, and we put 6, 7x the miles that a regular working person would put on their cars. So what better way to diagnose problems? And trust me, problems do show up. So how does the process work? Like, does it go all the way from the diagnosis process all the way to the fixing it? Do you refer mechanics? Because somebody has to get their hands dirty and do the job at
Yep.
the end, right? Diagnosis is one thing, fixing the car is another thing, so we can get back on the road.
Absolutely. So we can start all the way at the beginning of you've got a diagnostic trouble code because your check engine light is on. You can enter that code, or you've got another symptom. Your car is vibrating, it's smoking, it's doing whatever. It's completely open ended. You can describe what the problem is. It'll walk you through all of the potential causes, and it'll give you step by step ways to validate that. Um, what the issue could be, along with videos of how to actually perform those instructions. So it's very dynamic, whether you've never worked on a car before in your life, or maybe we even have some professional technicians, early career technicians, that use our product as a way to just be an ally, to help them make sure they're not forgetting anything, taking the most efficient path to diagnosing vehicles. And so it'll get you through the diagnosis, and then once you understand, okay, this is the problem, it'll also walk you through step-by-step repair instructions. You can also, if it's preventive maintenance, you can go straight to the instructions. Maybe you've never changed your vehicle's oil before on your own. It'll give you step-by-step with videos of how to do that. You can change brakes, spark plugs, engine air filters, all of the typical preventive maintenance. Basically anything you'd want to do with on a vehicle, type it in, and it'll guide you through the process.
Yeah. As you know, our costs as rideshare drivers for our cars to maintain our cars. Now, this is according to the government. I'm taking that with a grain of salt because government's probably not probably. I know that for myself. They're underestimating these numbers. Maintenance costs have gone up 40% over the last 5 years. So that's about 8%. It's running triple the so-called normal inflation rate, and we know this, and our earnings are not keeping pace with actual inflation. So this is pretty timely as far as I'm concerned, and I'm pretty sure a lot of rideshare drivers are turning into DIY, right? Do it yourself, because wherever we can save a few bucks. So is this most for DIYers, or is this most for people who maybe don't have the funds to fix it? Because look, we need to get the car on the road as ASAP, and obviously we want to be safe, right? Drive a safe car. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And right now we're mostly focused on DIYers because, well, really that's for society, that's where we can have the most impact. The the inflation on vehicle maintenance and repairs, as you mentioned, is just at the top of the charts. It's far outpacing all other categories of inflation. And the average cost of an unplanned repair on your vehicle, so not changing oil or something like that, but where you have an unplanned issue, the average car cost is about $1,000 across the U.S. right now, which is just imagine having something go out and $1,000 unexpected for the month. That's a big hit for almost anyone. And to give you some examples, if you had to change your brake pads and rotors on your own vehicle, single axle, the average cost, this varies, but it's somewhere around $500-$600. You could do that on your own for $200 in
Yeah.
parts. Spark plugs, if you want to change your own spark plugs, that can be as much as $400. You could buy those parts on your own for $50. So there's real potential for savings. The other way to look at it is the labor rates that repair shops and dealerships are charging now. And Sergio, to your point, this is up in the past 5 years, 40, I think almost 50% actually. The labor rates are at some dealerships over $200 an hour.
Yep.
And that is just really amazing. So you think about the amount of money you can save if you do a repair yourself. That might take 2 hours of your time, but that can be several $100s.
Yeah, I know that from firsthand experience. I had my 15,000-mile service. Unfortunately, I took it to the dealer, and it was simple oil change, really, honestly. It was every 7,500 they recommend, I guess. I took it to the dealer. They didn't do anything else. Just oil change and rotate the tires was $200. And I'm going like, I could have done this for like $50 or $80
Yeah.
max. And but as you know, newer cars, because on the Uber Lyft platforms, not much delivery, but for the rideshare side of the business, they keep changing the models, not models, but the year of the car. Like we can't drive Uber Lyft with a 20-year-old car, let's say. And as you know, those cars were a lot simpler, like you said, spark plugs and things like that, a lot simpler than what we have now. Basically, what we have now with the newer cars is computers on wheels. So are your systems all up to date to figure those kind of things out as well? Because, in the old days when I put my hood up, I could see the engine. Nowadays, I can hardly see the engine. I don't know, right? Let's talk a little bit
Yeah.
about that as well.
Yeah, it is our system is up to date with as late as 2025 models, and we're starting to get info in for even next year. So it's up to date. Funny you mentioned this. I actually started out my career as a mechanic, and that was over 20 years ago. Vehicles were much simpler. My first car I owned was a 1991 Chevy Silverado. A lot easier to work on back then. But
Yeah.
I think the modern vehicles, while they are more complex, one of our goals is to break down the barriers so that people aren't intimidated by working on these vehicles, because it really isn't that hard. They have a lot more computer systems in them. They've got a lot more electronics. But we use these, computers, electronics. We use these complex systems every day, whether it's our phone or laptop or whatever. And so with a little guidance, I think the average person can do a lot of work themselves. And that's really our mission. That's our goal, to enable people to be able to work on their own vehicle, or if they want to do it professionally, we're also supporting professional technicians as well.
Yeah. As you know, there's a big push for EVs these days, right? From ICE to EVs. There's a transition going on in the rideshare community as well. And obviously your systems support EVs as well.
Yep. EVs, as well as all of the modern ADAS systems, and a lot of the electrical systems, just electronics in general, can cause issues with modern vehicles. Right? It's one of the we have a lot more features on vehicles, and that's great, but we've got a lot more things that can break.
Right. I mean, you said you started as a mechanic, right? I mean, I looked at your bio on LinkedIn. You went to Harvard, so I'm going like, that's I don't know. How did that go about? Let's talk a little bit
It's
about yourself.
quite a transition. I might be the only mechanic that has ended up at Harvard, but actually started as a mechanic and then really enjoyed it. Got into engine building. I actually did some motorsports and really got into that, and then got motivated to go into engineering. So I became an automotive engineer and worked at various companies from Bosch to General Motors, designing engines, designing automotive systems and new vehicles, and then I ended up managing fleets and service operations for large fleets. So it's been a bit of a journey, but yeah, it's something I've always been excited about, and I've always enjoyed working on my own vehicles, and we decided to start Repair Ally and enable everyone else to be able to work on their own vehicles, and hopefully now more than ever the affordability issue,
Well,
save money doing it.
the reason I'm saying that is because we do interview a lot of CEOs here, and some mostly the Ivy League schools or whatever, right? And you're probably the first one that started as a mechanic, ended up at Harvard, and then still enjoy getting your hands dirty. Because most CEOs, I don't think they get their hands dirty. Because I encourage CEOs like Ubers and Lyfts. I go out and then drive. Then you understand what the problems are we're facing. You don't need me talking to you about it, right? But no, kudos to you. Kudos to you. So how long has the Repair Ally been around?
We've been a company for just a few months now,
Okay.
approximately 4 or 5 months, and so still very early days for us. But we've had a ton of interest um, in what we're doing, both from DIYers as well as businesses. We typically sell to businesses that want to support either DIYers or support auto repair in some way. And so it's been a bit of a roller coaster, rapid growth here, but we're excited that we've found something people are interested in.
No, I think you have the perfect mix here, right? You like working on cars, get your hands dirty, but you also have the education to back it up or start a startup. Like I would call you guys a startup, 3, 4 months. It's
Yep.
pretty new. And I'm sure you're going to face some of these vulture capitalists, but hey, so we have a couple of more minutes remaining. I'll give you the floor. I know we have a special for our audience, right? Let's talk a little bit about that. And, to close us up, floor is yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, for all of the viewers, we do want to support drivers as much as we can. So we have a special. If you go to repairally.com/rideshare, there's a special sign up which gives you free access to create an account to our software. And yeah, that's available for it's limited usage, available for a limited time, but it's a free account you can create and have that will support you for doing your own preventative maintenance and as well as diagnosing any issues that might come up on your vehicle. So please check that out, and of course give us any feedback you have. That's one of the benefits we get from users coming in. And I just to add a few things. Obviously, our software helps people to work on their own vehicles, and that can save money. But there's also other benefits. One is, you can, if you've got some kind of issue with your vehicle, simply going through using our software for diagnostics, you can better understand what the issue could be. So when you go to a repair shop, you're informed, and you're eliminating that information asymmetry. You know if they're giving you a fair deal or not. It can also just reduce anxiety, right? It's a lot of people who have some noise or issue with their vehicle and they don't know what's causing it. They don't know if it's $100 repair or $1,000 repair. It helps just to know what it could be. So I'd encourage you to use the tool even if you're not going to work on your own vehicle. Um, So yeah, we're super excited to support drivers however we can, and hopefully this is helpful.
Well, it absolutely has been helpful. So let's answer this quick question. Until what year did they have cars on their platform? Well, Mike said already all the way up to 2025, but how far back do you go? Like, do you go 10 years, 20 years, 30 years?
We go back to 1980.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not sure how many drivers are driving cars that old, but we support any U.S. vehicle. So if you've got some imported vehicle from, I don't know, Australia or something, it may not be on our platform, but anything that was sold in the U.S. back to 1980.
So that's 45 years. I think we got everybody covered here. So, well, we thank you. We thank you for showing up on short notice. So please go check it out. It's in the show notes. The special is also, the link is in the show notes as well. Your Repair Ally was nice enough to extend the special for the RSG audience, and take advantage of it. Look, man, nobody likes getting ripped off. I know every time I'm going to the mechanic, or specifically when my wife goes to the mechanic, she goes, honey, they want to change this, they want to change that. I go, no, 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 no. Don't do any of that stuff. But at least as a backup, right? You just go with some knowledge into a, auto repair shop. At least you can save yourself some money that way as well. So thank you. Thank you for showing up.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you get notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.